Welcome to Retro Crisis. In today's video, I want to share with you my top 5 Christmas movies of the 1980s. This is a list of special movies that I have a sentimental connection to, and that are always guaranteed to get me in the Christmas spirit. And don't worry, I'll try to keep this video spoiler-free. At number 5, Silent Night, Deadly Night. The story is all about a boy named Billy. As a 5-year-old, he witnessed his family being murdered by a guy dressed up as Santa Claus. This childhood experience, combined with a lifetime of abuse, leads to him being a very unstable adult, who then goes on a murderous rampage in a toy store on Christmas Eve. So it's kinda like John Carpenter's Halloween, but with a murderous Santa Claus. Now, I'll be the first to admit that Silent Night, Deadly Night is a dreadful, terrible, campy horror movie, but I'm a huge fan of horror movies, so it's right up my alley. It has lots of cheap, gory violence and lots of unnecessary nudity, the worst acting you'll ever see, and a half-baked story that was probably written in an afternoon. But it's just one of those movies that stuck with me ever since I was a child. I simply can't see a person in a Santa Claus costume without secretly thinking that they might be a serial killer. And now for something less horrific. A Christmas Story follows the Parker family during the 1940 Christmas holiday season, more specifically, little 9-year-old Ralphie Parker. The main through-line story is Ralphie wants a toy rifle for Christmas, which is very relatable, as I'm sure when we were all younger, there were specific toys that we pined for too. But what makes A Christmas Story special are the Parker family stories that run alongside the main plot. They're almost like mini self-contained stories within themselves. We get a glimpse into Ralphie's school life and the antics his classmates get up to, as well as the borderline dysfunctional family dynamics at home. We get to see Ralphie deal with the neighborhood bullies and much more. In all honesty, the story itself isn't anything majorly special. A Christmas Story is more of a nostalgic experience that I allow to wash over me, and it really does remind me of my childhood and how getting that toy you dreamed of was the most important thing in the world. And now, a slightly different family Christmas movie. 1984's Gremlins is the ultimate Christmas monster comedy. The basic premise behind Gremlins is Randall Peltzer gets his son Billy a pet mogwai for Christmas. But when taking care of a mogwai, there are a few important rules to consider. Do not expose it to sunlight, do not let it come into contact with water, and never feed it after midnight. And as you may have guessed, in the movie, every one of these rules is broken, and chaos and hilarity ensue. I must have watched Gremlins a million times as a child. Gizmo was just the cutest thing ever, and I wanted one so bad. But here's a picture of my little Gizmo, same colours at least, and she also happens to hate water too. And now a spin on a Christmas classic. Released in 1988, Scrooged is a modern-day reimagining of Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol. In this version, Bill Murray plays a mean-spirited, Scrooge-type television executive, and as expected, he's selfish and only cares about himself. And much like the Dickens original, Murray is visited by the ghosts of Christmas past, present, and future. Scrooged isn't your typical happy family Christmas comedy. I'd say it veers more towards the darker side of mean-spiritedness, but Bill Murray carries the film and makes his character just about likable. It's definitely an alternative to the cheery mainstream Christmas family movies. And finally, number 1, National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. The Griswold family are gearing up towards Christmas, and what should have been a pleasant family holiday is soon turned into chaos and anarchy, all because of the patriarch Clark Griswold, played superbly by Chevy Chase. Everything that could go wrong to the Griswold family during Christmas does. The Christmas tree, the decorations, the annoying in-laws and the crazy brother-in-law turning up uninvited, and much more. We all remember having a Christmas day where we saw the worst side of our family come out, and in turn bringing out the worst in us as well. Christmas Vacation is basically that, but dialed to 11. And there we have it, my top 5 Christmas movies from the 1980s. I hope you enjoyed this list. This has been Retro Crisis. Thank you for watching.